Hi Aries, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading there, and we're just sort of going to have a bit of a general look this week, and just see whatever comes out. We've had sort of all sorts of messages coming out this week, so but I will draw a couple of cards toward the end there, specifically to do with love. I know that that's usually what everyone wants to know about, so we will definitely draw a couple of those as well. But we will firstly be looking at sort of the energy around you. So we're going to use the paper oracle lenormand for that. Then we'll move into sort of like the reality, real world, day-to-day stuff. I've got the Slavic folklore deck for that. I do also have the Island Time Wellness Oracle, my own personal deck that's got letters, months, and signs, a bit of confirmation stuff there. But we're going to start off the reading today with a quote for everyone from this. It's a guide for the advanced soul, a book of insight. So we'll get into it there for you, Aries. Aries, please. Okay. At any moment, I could start being a better person, but which moment should I choose? That's by Ashley Brilliant, Potshots number 1521. Okay, so at any moment, I could start being a better person, but which moment should I choose? So I feel as though that's talking about, delaying our personal growth somehow, Aries. Like because if at any moment you could start to be a better person, why are you not already trying? Is kind of what I get from that there. um i I will read this second, because we have double pages here, so I will read the second one for us, Aries, today as well. I feel as though that actually connects to this same message. Okay, so one has just to be oneself. That's my basic message. The moment you accept yourself as you are, all burdens, all mountainous burdens simply disappear. Then life is a sheer joy, a festival of lights. And that one's by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, The Sound of One Hand Clapping. Okay, so that's talking about accepting yourself as you are, and that will help lift all burdens. One has to just be oneself. So, if we're choosing a moment to start being a better person, just starting by being yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, the good and the bad. Okay, so, and then life sort of lifts those burdens for you and becomes joy and festival of lights. I quite like that. Um, so yeah, first and foremost, I will say, Aries, that maybe going back and having a look at the most recent shadow work video may be something you feel compelled to do after hearing those two quotes there, sort of talking about delaying that work on yourself is kind of the message I was getting from that there. So for some reason or another, kind of just getting stuck in that day to day rather than actually using these moments and these things that have happened in our past to actually help us grow as people. Okay, so personally, I find I shadow work and self growth is a big part of my journey here on this planet, and I do sort of recommend to everybody to really stop and look at yourself and give yourself forgiveness for all those things that have happened in the past, whether or not you were to blame, so to speak. A lot of things that we go through, turmoil that we go through, it does involve a huge amount of acceptance and forgiveness for oneself as well. Okay, but we'll have a bit of a look with the Lenormand here. So we'll have a look at what's going on with Aries energy, please. Aries energy, please. Okay, well, I will just show you. Sometimes I do feel compelled to just have a quick look at what's going on under the surface. So I've had a look at the bottom of the deck there, which we have the wheel. So, cycles that are being burdensome with the mountain there. Putting in some hard work and you will reach that sunshine, those happy periods in love. All right. So there's definitely that same sort of thing, the burdens being lifted as we saw in that inspiration. And it's really sort of looking at the cycles in your life at the moment. All right. So just a bit of a side message there. But your main energy coming through there, we do have the house followed by the stranger and the feminine there. Okay, so I do straight away feel as though, the house is actually quite a neutral sort of a card. It does talk a lot about the issues of stability and security within your life. But in light of those two insights we sort of saw there in that book, I feel as though this sense of security within yourself may actually be removed from your conscious thought. Okay, you may be feeling like a stranger within your own home when it comes to yourself, feeling as though you don't know yourself that well and you don't know what makes you feel stable and secure, in this world, in your life, with people. So the stranger, it is that. It is reflective of the dog card, okay? So it does have an element of friendship, compassion, loyalty, but I feel here that we're looking at, not being able to see those things within yourself. It is the stranger card, so there it does sort of talk about there's some element of unknowing yourself. I feel as though this house is really representing you yourself today, Aries, and your own sense of stability and security and feeling disconnected from that. Okay, so not really understanding ourselves quite as much as you kind of want to. So in order to know what really does give you that inner security and strength, really needing to sort of actually not allow yourself to continue to be a stranger to yourself and really stopping and looking at yourself and working these things out for you. Okay, so and then with the feminine there as well, that's kind of letting me know that there is an element of needing to get in touch with that side of yourself as well. The more feminine aspect of yourself, the more emotional, nurturing side of yourself. Okay, because with that stranger in the middle, that's kind of all I'm getting from these cards is that that these elements are total strangers to you within yourself. Okay, so you may be a person who is, very stoic and you don't talk about your emotions. You try to come from a logical place rather than an emotional place where you actually feel these things, and you're kind of trying to. I'm feeling that we're going to get a lot more clarity when we get to that reality side, okay? Because I do feel as though that is where your true energy is lying at the moment in the reality, in the day to day, in the physical world. So this is really talking about getting in touch with the non-physical world, getting in touch with your heart space, and your true soul space, and your connection to yourself. Okay, so with the feminine there is that strong quality of, nurturing yourself, nurturing your emotional sides, nurturing, your inner stability at this point, I feel. Okay, I'll get a bit more information when it comes to actual energy around you and coming towards you. So Aries and surrounding energies coming towards Aries, please. Whoa. Just had one jump out. Okay, so we're seeing some really positive energies around you and coming towards you, and that one that jumped out, it was the sun that we did see on the bottom of the deck earlier. All right, so definitely happiness there in your energy, ready for the taking. Okay, so it's just a matter of revealing these things to yourself, bringing this energy within yourself to light, and sort of facing it head on and not allowing it to be a stranger to you any longer. There really is an element with the sun as well of, things coming to light, things being revealed. So I feel as though that's talking about, revealing your true self to yourself. Okay. But then we do see the book followed by the key there. Okay. So, straight away, the key, it wants me to say straight away, you're going to smash this and be successful. Okay, so the key is all about success. So it's right there in your energy once again for the taking. But the book really does talk about new chapters, new paths being unlocked for you. Ready to write the next part of your story, but heading into that success and opening new doors, because with the book having that element of the unknown, and then the key having that unlocking new doors kind of imagery there. They're both talking about brand new options, like when God closes a door, he opens a window, kind of a vibe, so there's definitely some new options coming into your energy, some new things that you can actually choose to write your story, in a much more successful manner than what you are currently looking at when you're sort of getting stuck without knowing your inner self and your inner stability, and you not nurturing yourself quite as much as you need to be. I feel as though that's why the sun is sort of revealing those things to you, so that we can move into this new phase, where you will have sort of all these new, like it's just new, like I can feel the brand newness coming in, and it's like it may be things you've never experienced before, but they're actually going to be super successful for you in your journey. All right, so but keeping in mind that the book is not yet written. You have the option to write your story however you want. Okay. And so it's just guiding us to sort of look at these things within ourselves, so that we can, I feel as though it's kind of wanting us to reflect on the story so far, be compassionate with ourselves, and be very nurturing to ourselves when it comes to the story that has already been written, and choosing how we want to, have that inner stability in order to, change the story to a much more successful story. All right. So I really feel there's an element there of, revealing your inner world to yourself, so that you can kind of move on to these new things and these new phases for you, Aries. But they're definitely there in your energy, ready to go. So it's really going to be up to you. But we'll have a look at what's going on in your reality, because like I said, I am already feeling that, that's what you're in at the moment, is the physical world, the matrix, as a lot of people refer to it these days. So what's going on for Aries? Real world, please. Aries and reality, please. Okay, so yeah, we are seeing that, in your sort of day-to-day life, we are possibly seeing a little bit of struggle. The first card we have there is that fox energy, followed by that mountain that we did see previously on the bottom of the deck when I pulled that out, as well as that this. In this deck, it's the wolf, but that is that dog energy. Once again, very similar to that stranger energy we saw as well. But this one is actually a lot more closely linked to the dog energy there. But I'll let you know firstly about that fox card. The fox can talk about quite a few different things, but I feel in this particular fox energy, it really is talking about that self-care, being quite clever, and the fox is very stuck in their head. Okay, so I feel as though that's directly referring to you, Aries, that you are in this fox mode at the moment, where you are a little bit, stuck in your head, and keeping in mind that your headspace, your logical brain, that should only be like a third, okay, of what's going on for you, because we've got heart, head, and soul. Okay, so I'm just feeling that you if you're in this space and this space alone, where's the heart and where's the soul coming from? You know what I mean? You're just just stuck in this very logical, cunning kind of tricking yourself to deny that love and happiness for yourself in a sense as well. But I do feel as though that's talking really muchly just about the self-care aspect. I feel as though, you've been doing this out of survival, out of a sense of survival. But, like as you can see with this fox card, there is a woman there with the fox. So there is an element of, you don't always need to just be in survival mode, okay? Sometimes we can rely on other people, especially that's being especially supported with that wolf card there as well. That does talk about friendships and things like that, and that support just in general. But then we see the mountain card. So the mountain is really all about, hard work, putting in some hard work. Okay. And I feel like this is what, we already spoke about that within your energy, putting in a bit of hard work to overcome these burdens or challenges or delays that you've been facing within yourself. Okay. So, but the important thing to remember with the mountain card is that, it does talk about that person, like it is Capricorn's card, okay? So it does talk quite a lot about perseverance and determination, to climb that mountain. But once you're at the top of the mountain, like as you can kind of imagine with the Capricorn imagery, they have that fish's tail, so they can slide back on down the other side, so it's smooth sailing. Once you get to the top of that mountain, you can sort of see your way clear across the land and know exactly where to go from there. Okay, so sometimes it does involve a little bit of perseverance and hard work to overcome, the challenges that are within your real world at this time. And to be honest, I feel like the biggest challenge to you at this current time, Aries, is you. So I'm sorry if that's a bit confronting, but this issue that we've raised within your energy there, you're stuck in the real world burdens at the moment. You're not actually focusing within at all. And I feel as though once you actually start focusing within and into the energy a little bit more, and putting in that hard work to really work out exactly, how you do feel emotionally and why you're feeling so burdened, by these things in your life at the moment, why you're feeling a lack of stability and whatnot, you will really find that yourself at the top of that mountain, Aries. All right, but that, like I said, that wolf card is very similar to that dog energy, so it does talk about friendship and support and loyalty from people around you. Okay, so um, it is a very compassionate card as well. So, being your own friend a bit in a big way as well. While you're climbing this mountain, be your own friend, support yourself. Be your own little cheerleader, pumping yourself on. But also being able to rely on people around you for support as well. So I am, even though there's no sort of communication cards here, I am feeling just intuitively that you need to talk to somebody. Even if it's, you don't have to go and see a professional if that's not your jam, although I do sort of recommend that for everybody. But just talking to people. It doesn't have to be heavy duty conversation, but, just talking to people and remembering that there are people around you who are loyal to you and will support you and offer you that friendship when you need it as well. All right. But I'll see if there's any other important messages coming through for our Aries. Anything else important our Aries needs to know, please? Well, I'll take that one. Anything else important our Aries needs to know, please? Okay, so we are seeing the bouquet, which is the flowers, followed by the garden. Okay, so both very, flowery kind of images. And you can see in this garden card there is a little house in the background as well. So I really feel that this is the answer to how we find our stability, all right? Because the garden talks about meetings and a social aspect. So as we saw with that wolf card there, the dog card, that friends and people that support you are going to be super important at the moment, and so maybe getting out there and meeting up with a friend, or going to visit somebody who do who you do get that compassion from may be really useful to you at this time. It does have that very social aspect to it, so it is kind of letting us know, get out there, Aries, and meet up with friends. Even if you aren't actually meeting up with anyone in particular, it's just sort of being out there in the world. Go somewhere, restful and but still social. So, surrounding yourself with people a little bit more, and having a bit more compassion for others, and understanding that they'll be able to have that same compassion for you. Like I said, also having that compassion for yourself first and foremost. But with the bouquet there, that is a super giving kind of energy. So yeah, if you give to these social situations, you will receive in return. It is all about giving and receiving this bouquet. Okay, so for maybe one Aries out there, it's kind of talking about going to see someone and taking a bunch of flowers to somebody, giving a part of your vulnerability to somebody. I don't. That's just for like one or two people, okay. But if that rings something for you, that might be for you. But it does quite talk about being rewarded for your giving energy. So the more that you give, the more that you will receive, and be rewarded for that, and be able to overcome any issues that you're having. I do find that this particular message with that house there, it's gonna really help you with your inner stability and security as well. All right, realizing that, hang on, I can rely on these people. Okay, they are loyal to me. They are my friends. I feel as though that's quite important for you at the moment, Aries. All right. Um, but we'll grab a couple of cards directly asking about love for us there, Aries. So I'll use the Island Time Wellness there, and we'll ask Aries and love, please. Aries and love. Okay. So firstly, I'm seeing the Golden Mirror card there. Now this particular card is quite an interesting one to me because, I actually read this a little bit differently to what's actually written on it. It does talk about self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationships, and love bombing. But with any aspect of a mirror, you do get that reflection upon yourself as well. Okay, so I don't really, especially, I really don't like the word narcissist. I think a lot of people use it out of context, and everyone wants to go and diagnose a narcissist, but it's not everybody is a narcissist. It's just a lot of people have those sorts of tendencies, and it is kind of one of them things where like we saw with that fox energy, okay, when somebody is in survival mode, they start displaying certain energies or reflecting certain energies, that people do these things like, unless they are a legitimate narcissist disorder, you know, um, people actually do these things out of self survival, and there's not enough people that actually stop and reflect upon why the people behave that way. Okay, because and it is kind of like, especially in relationships, um, narcissistic behaviors are kind of, they do go both ways in a lot of situations. Like I don't want to, if you have struggled with those sorts of things, I definitely don't want to be blaming anyone or anything like that. But there's a lot of, there's a lot around all these issues. Okay, so I really don't like using the term narcissist, because it's such a deep well to dive into, I suppose. But I do feel as though we're just talking more along that one-sided relationship aspect, and but also with the mirror, like I said, reflecting upon ourselves. So like, like I said, if you identify as the victim within a situation, um, I'm just getting this strong element of like looking from the other person's perspective, because quite a lot of time in these situations, um, the other person actually considers themselves the victim as well. Okay, and why would they? Like I feel like I'm going on a big tangent here because I could talk. There's a lot of depth. Okay, when it comes to these sorts of issues, there's a lot of depth. But my main point being that I do feel as though for us today, Aries, that this is actually talking about reflecting upon ourselves, having compassion for times when we may have sort of felt like we were traumatized by somebody else's behavior, but also looking in the reflection and seeing how we may have done things to them as well. Like especially with the one, I'm getting that one-sided relationship stuff, like because anyone that's been in a one-sided relationship and you've been the one side, you do end up getting that tendency to put other people in that same position. I'm not going to lie, I've done it myself. Okay, so it's just one of them things that kind of happens. Um, and I'm not saying that either side of the situation is good or bad, but it's really kind of talking about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, but also looking yourself in the mirror and having that compassion for anything that you feel that you may have done within a connection. All right, but I don't want to get into that. I don't want to keep going over that because we are talking about past energy for you either way, Aries. So that's I feel like that may be part of what's actually put you into this turmoil, that you do feel as though you're in a bit of turmoil, avoiding your inner energies. Okay, so I feel as though that may have had a bit of a role to play in the energies in the past. Okay, so like I said, in the past, but reflection is obviously quite important for you at the moment, Aries. But we are seeing the other two cards that came through. I have the Paradise card, followed by the Passion card. Okay, so with Paradise, it says happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And then the Passion card does say insane chemistry, liking each other equally, and having fun. Okay, so the important thing there is that there's quite a lot of playfulness with both of those cards. So in the future there, that's definitely able to happen for you. And when we are looking at past relationships, looking at those things that we may have had with somebody as well, don't always just look at the negative, because, you wouldn't have been spending time with them if there wasn't also positives there as well. There may have been that insane chemistry, and I do feel though that that word equally, that brings about that flowers energy once again. Okay, so that giving to situations, as so that you can receive as well. So make sure we're giving as much as what we want to receive. Once again, that's a little bit of that reflection vibe. Give the energy that you want to receive. If you are holding back, somebody else may hold back from you in return. Okay. But I'll grab a couple of, these are just my letters, months, and star signs cards there. I am finding at the moment that, they may be timing related, maybe people's initials, but quite a lot of the time we're actually finding these are more confirmation. Okay, so what I mean by that is, like, if a certain word comes out that starts with a letter that comes out or whatever, and then you see that thing. Oh, hang on, I'll draw your cards. I had T flip over there. So yeah, so sometimes I'm finding, like, certain things will sort of confirm that this reading was meant for you, Aries. Okay, so like this is probably a good example. So I've got the X card has come out. So quite a lot of the time, that's not going to be somebody's initial. It's a very uncommon initial. So it can be things like X marks the spot. Okay, X-rays. Okay, so but if there's you know, some reference to an X-ray comes up within the next few days, and it makes you think back to hearing me say this now. It sort of just does confirm for you that there definitely was something for you in this reading. Okay, but I do also have a T and a K. So those letters may be important. I am straight away seeing Katie, so the name Katie might be important to a couple of you there. I also have here Scorpio, as well as November and September. Okay, so Scorpio may be important placements. I do believe Scorpio does cover part of this time frame here as well. So, but Scorpio season may be important. There may be an important placement that you have that Scorpio. If you do, maybe check the Scorpio video. But there's the someone coming into your life, maybe a Scorpio, one of these friends we saw in your energy. Same as September and November. They may be important months coming up for you, where we're able to actually get through all this. That might be when we're seeing ourselves clear from all this drama and able to actually find that inner security. But they also could be birth months as well, those sorts of things. Okay. But yeah, so I hope that resonated for you guys there. Let me know in the comments. Anyone that does comment will go in the draw for a free personal as well. So, leave me a comment and obviously subscribe so you can keep updated for when that's drawn as well. But hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Thanks.